Have you ever heard about the Betelgeuse star? It is one of the most prominent stars visible to Earth. Look up at the night sky and you might see it. However, this red supergiant is near the end of its life. How will this affect our planet? Betelgeuse began to wane near the end of 2019. The scientific community still finds the cause of this as mysterious. With the naked eye, you'll see it getting dimmer and dimmer. However, miraculously, the star's brightness returned to normal after a few months. With this observation, the scientists on Earth pointed their telescopes toward the star out of curiosity, and their efforts confirmed that the star was on the edge of an explosion. The explosion of this red supergiant has become one of the most anticipated events of the astronomical community. Betelgeuse is known to be the second brightest star in Orion. Orion will lose one of its stars. What will the constellation look like after this event? The Orion Constellation. Before you get sad about Orion losing its star, let's remember its glory. The Orion Constellation is something you can view from around the world. Through its prominence, the ancient astronomers have grown fondly of mopping the night sky and seeing the familiar figure. The ancient Greeks named the constellation after a hunter from one of their mythologies. Two of the 10 brightest stars within the Orion are Rigel, or Beta Orionis, and Betelgeuse, or Alpha Orionis. Betelgeuse is a glittering red star located in the upper right shoulder of Orion. Meanwhile, the blue supergiant is Rigel, the brightest in the constellation. It is interesting because those stars deemed as alpha are supposed to be the most brilliant among the constellation. But maybe they just wanted to make an exception for Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is unique on its own. It has a reddish hue and is the 7th brightest star seen in most of North America, Europe, and even Canada. If you're in another part of the world, don't worry, you still might see it from the higher ground with less light pollution. Check out Betelgeuse in your local mountains before its explosion. What's funny about the star is the confusion it creates for the scientific community. Aside from its weirdly assigned name, Betelgeuse is also known as Orion's armpit, thus making its famous name in Arabic. Others believe that it's the hand or shoulder of Orion rather than its armpit, and although depicted as the hunter's right shoulder on many old star charts, the star's position may tell otherwise. Associated with being a part of a mythical hunter, a god, or sometimes even an animal figure, its anatomical position remains irrelevant. I mean, have you seen the other constellations? They look nothing like their imagined counterparts. Just look at the famous zodiac signs. They are rarely similar to such imaginations. And the same goes for Orion. The supernova. What is interesting is that astronomers are having a hard time pinpointing Betelgeuse's exact distance from our planet. Some believe that it's around 430 and 724 light years away. This red supergiant is the closest star to Earth found within our galaxy. It is known to be approximately 16.5 times as massive as the Sun, so whatever explosion it will create, we will indeed feel it from a distance. The star has a surface temperature of 3600 Kelvin. As such, it burns brightly at 126,000 solar luminosities, which makes it visible even from 548 light years away. Despite being cooler than the Sun, its radiant energy is still superior. At night, even the naked eye can't see it. Also, if this star were to replace our local Sun, Betelgeuse would absorb all planets from Mercury to Mars. That's how massive it is. Every 10,000 years, the star loses about 1 solar mass. Material is ejected unevenly in all directions, resulting in a cloud formation 250 times larger than Betelgeuse. The size of the nebula is around 30 astronomical units. Although the red star is estimated to be around 9 and 10 million years old, it will pass away sooner than expected. Although this age is relatively young, it is losing its strength to hold itself together. You see, during the birth of a star, hydrogen is infused together in its core. Under the force of gravity, it creates helium during a nuclear explosion as it releases heat and light energy from the fusion process. Afterward, the released energy travels to the star's surface and turns into photons emitted into the rest of space. A star operates as a ticking time bomb that burns until it burns out. Any star uses hydrogen as its primary fuel. If the supply runs out, helium will start to combine with carbon to form carbon. And after the helium is all used up, neon will eventually integrate with carbon. The process allows it to form iron. And when this happens, the fusion of these two elements will absorb energy instead of letting it out. As such, the star collapses and releases massive energy, transforming it into a supernova explosion. A supernova is by far one of the greatest forces we can observe from the universe. One supernova can generate more energy than 10 billion suns. Around the year 2020, they discovered the formation of a second dust cloud coming from the red giant and linked it to the dimming of the star's light. By 2021, they hypothesized that a patch on its photosphere caused the dust to be released. Later in 2021, a second independent investigation confirmed the initial hypothesis. As the dust comes out, the star starts to cool down. With the 2022 studies using the Hubble Space Telescope, scientists observed that a surface mass ejection might have created the dust. The dust cooled millions of kilometers away, covering the star from the Earth's view and thus the alarming dim from the naked human eye. The 400-day pulsation rate of the supergiant has also vanished. Ancient astronomers from around 2 centuries ago analyzed the star's surface motions and brightness variations. And now, this disturbance is indicative of the extent of the blast. How will it affect the Earth? With all the hypotheses and the theoretical explanations behind the disruption of the Betelgeuse, the biggest question is if it will affect our planet. Short answer, no. Although the scientific community has difficulty pinpointing our distance from the star, we can assume that it's around 500 light years away. It means we're too far apart for the supernova to cause harm. However, this secured hypothesis is only for the projected possibility of a simple supernova. What if it forms a black hole? There are thousands of other calculated possibilities, but the odds seem to be on our side. For all we know, the Orion will just be a losing shoulder, a hand, or even an armpit. And you should know that this explosion will be visible in the next 100,000 years or so. But if you really want to observe another supernova explosion, just await a bit more. Stellar explosions in 2022. The KIC 9832227, comprised of two binary stars, was predicted to merge and explode within the year of 2022. Stellar collisions are rare within the universe. According to reports, there is an estimate of one collision for every 10,000 years. What are the odds that we're going to see it in our lifetime? It is actually a historic discovery for the scientific community. According to Professor Lawrence Molnar, the event will cause an explosion so bright that it will appear as the brightest star within Earth's view. The binary pair has been sharing the same atmosphere until it slowly decreases through collision. However, others would argue that the orbital calculations are inaccurate. Thus, we would never get to see it explode within this year. Let's find out together and we'll make sure to update you about this event. This is MarketFly, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe to our channel for more updates and amazing videos like this one. See you at the next one.